This is Math 6, Lesson 6-6, the customary system. If you've lived in the United States for any length of time, then you're fairly familiar with the customary system. If you have not lived in the United States for any length of time, the customary system is foreign to you because you're used to the metric system. The customary system of measurement is based on units of measurement that have been used since 1824. The United States and few other countries use this system. The United States uses this system. Britain uses the system to a certain degree, but they also have their own thing because they use stones and pounds to figure out weight. And they also use the pound as the dollar instead of the dollar. So very few countries use the customary system. Each unit in the customary system has a separate name. Let's talk about some of these units. There are three types of units. We have a unit for length, we have a unit for weight, and we have a unit for capacity. The units most often used for length are the inch. The inch is about the length of a bottle cap. So if you took a soda bottle and screwed the cap off and measured it from side to side, that would be about an inch. A foot is the length of an adult male's foot, the average adult male, not, Shaquille O'Neal, who's got gigantic feet. Okay? The average adult male's foot is about a foot. The yard is about the length across a regular door, a doorway going into a bedroom, a doorway going into a house. The width of the door, not the height of the door, the width of the door. A mile is about the length of 14 football fields. Okay? If you went end zone to end zone 14 times, you get about a mile. For weight, the customary system uses the ounce, which is about the weight of a slice of bread, ordinary slice of bread, the pound, which is the weight of the entire loaf of bread, and a ton, which is the weight of 2 grand pianos. Those are the big giant pianos, not the standing upright pianos, but the big giant pianos. Okay. Capacity. For anything that is liquid, the capacity is in fluid ounces. A fluid ounce, 1 fluid ounce is about a mouthful of water. Not, gigantic to like you're going to spit it out because you can't fit any more in. A general mouthful of water. A cup is, if you get the milk cartons in the lunchroom, a cup is about a single serve milk carton. One of the smaller ones, not one of the taller ones. A pint is about the amount in a small container of ice cream. A quart is about the amount in a bottle of fruit punch. And a gallon is the amount in a large bottle of milk. Okay? A gallon of milk. Most people understand what a gallon of milk is because most people, when they go to the store, they buy milk in gallons. You do need to know the abbreviations. Inch is abbreviated IN period, foot FT period, yard YD period, mile MI period, ounce OZ, pound LB, and ton T. They don't tend to have periods on those. Fluid ounce is FLOZ with a period after the Z. A cup is a C. Pint is PT period, quart is QT period, and gallon is GAL. Why some of them have periods and some of them do not? Not a big deal. I'm not worried about it. If you forget the period, it's not a big deal to me. If you put an extra one in, also not a big deal. All right, let's take a look at some things. If I had 128 fluid ounces of juice, that could be described as I have 16 cups of juice, or I have 8 pints of juice, or I have 4 quarts of juice, or I have 1 gallon of juice. Using the larger unit of measure is more helpful. If somebody said, how much juice do you have? And you say, I have a gallon. They can picture a gallon. If you say, how much juice do you have? And you say, I have 16 cups. They're like, oh, 16 cups. It's kind of hard to picture 16 cups. Worse, I have 128 fluid ounces. Is that a lot? Is that little? I'm not sure. Okay. It's helpful if you can use the larger quantity to describe something because it's easier for people to picture. Use smaller units for smaller quantities where you need to be more exact. If I'm talking about a recipe for cookies, I'm going to need to use smaller units. I'm not going to say I need 1/32 of a gallon of milk. No, I'm going to say I need 2 cups of milk, okay, or whatever. Choose an appropriate unit of measure and explain your choice. Okay, weight of a hummingbird. Well, if you know anything about hummingbirds, they fly an awful lot. Their wings move a ton because they are very light. Hummingbirds do not weigh very much. They're one of the smaller birds that we have. So probably the best, it's weight, so we need to use one of the weight units, which is either ounce, pound, or ton. Okay? Ton is way too big. A hummingbird would never weigh a ton. Pound is awfully big too, because remember, a pound is a loaf of bread. A hummingbird doesn't even come close to the size of a loaf of bread, let alone the weight of a loaf of bread. So we'd need to use an ounce. An ounce would be the best description of a hummingbird, because a hummingbird is very light. How about the length of a soccer field? We're talking length now. If I'm talking length, I either do inches, feet, yards, or miles. Well, I don't think my soccer field should be measured in inches, and I definitely don't think my soccer field should be measured in miles. Okay? Since normally a soccer field is close to a football field, and if you play football at all, American soccer, which is football, everything's measured in yards, the length of my soccer field should probably be measured in yards. Okay? Because a soccer field is too long to measure in inches or feet and too short to be measured in miles. Okay? Too long to measure in inches or feet. And too long to measure in, and too short to measure in miles. It's an S. There we go. Let's take a look at some more. How about the capacity of an eyedropper? Well, if you've ever done science and you've done eyedroppers don't hold a lot of water. Its capacity, so it's got to go into the capacity container. So it's not going to be a gallon, it's not going to be a quart, it's not going to be a pint, it's probably not even going to be a cup. It's probably going to be fluid ounces, because it's just not very much. Okay, so fluid ounces, because it doesn't hold very much. Okay, the weight of a bag of ice. Okay, the weight of a bag of ice. Well, we're talking about the weight category, so we're either doing ounces, pounds, or tons. Well, I've never seen a bag of ice weigh a ton. I've never seen somebody have a large enough plastic bag to put around a ton of ice, because that's more like, floating icebergs. So we're probably not looking at tons, and if we're talking about the general bag of ice that you would get in a store, it's a pretty decent size, so therefore we'd probably go with pounds, because ounces are just too light. Ounces are too light, and obviously tons is way too heavy. Because face it, since a ton is 2,000 pounds, it would be really, really difficult to lift up 2,000 pounds of ice. Yes, I'm throwing a very large party. I need a very large amount of ice. Not that much ice. Most of what you do in the customary system is understanding what these different units stand for and approximately what would be the best measurement. The best way to do that, walk around in a grocery store. Look at things, especially if you're looking for capacity or weight. Pick up cans and bottles. Pick up loaves of bread and chips, bags of chips, and look and see how heavy they are, and that will help you understand ounces versus pounds versus tons versus fluid ounces versus cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. Grocery stores are great for that. For length, you probably need to go to the Home Depot or Lowe's and look at some things that are in length of things, and then that would be helpful for that. Okay, this is the customary system. It's just an introduction to talk to you a little bit about all the different units.